So my plan is to just try to get this started with a razor. We'll see if we can get in here. The reason I'm wearing this glove is because of the heat. I am left-handed, so I plan to hold the heat gun with my left hand. Then I'll pull with my left, or pull with my right. Sounds weird, but this is my active hand here. So this has a dial on the back. It goes up to 1,202 degrees Fahrenheit, which is we're not doing that today. So it starts at about 212. So we're going to go to about 250. And we're going to see how it goes. We grabbed a little bit here. If we put it on ahead of where we're trying to pull, it will heat up where we're going. Can't quite tell if it's working yet. Turn that off for now. Yeah, it's kind of goopy. I really don't want to go over this whole thing with a razor, so I'm just going to get a little bit more of this going here. You can see that it's just sitting on the wood. So as long as we can get enough to start pulling, maybe we'll be able to do this. So let's try again. See how it actually has an effect on the, it wants to warp the sticker, so that's good. Nope. Okay. Well, it doesn't really seem to be wanting to help us out much so far. I don't know if you can tell, but I haven't never done this particular part of this project before. And this is a good practice for doing over 6 feet of side art next. I don't know, man. That's going to be a lot big project, because that's 6 feet of this same situation. So I don't know. Let's try it this way. Cool. Well, we did it. That was the most so far. Looks pretty good. Got one splinter. I don't know. It seems like that other stuff isn't going to do that, though. The actual side art. You got to clean up as you go. So we got 2 sides. There's this bit here still. Seems to me also that this, I mean, it's obvious that this the metal razor blade is significantly better than the plastic razor blade. It's kind of trolling myself with the other one. So anyways, I think that's fine. That's fine. And you know, I'm not putting vinyl back on there. I can put it on, I don't know, like maybe here. You know, but this part is bolted to the machine. I'm probably just going to spray this flat black underneath here to match this edge here. Because I don't know. I'm not too worried about it being perfect. And I have the vinyl, but I don't know if that's how I want to spend my time. So let's try this one more time here. We'll see if we can get a good edge going here. Maybe we can just pull this whole thing all at once. All right, well, here's an update. I resigned to just basically use a straight edge and a whole lot of elbow grease. I'm kind of thinking that it might be because it's sunburnt. You know, we looked at the side art of that on the walkthrough video, and there's no orange left on that entire thing. So I'm assuming that the reason this is all so hard to take off is because this stuff is just so brittle, you know, just breaks off. It doesn't really want to do anything useful under the heat gun. I think the reason why the black stuff came off so easy because it was underneath and behind the control panel, so it didn't get nearly as sunburnt. That's what I'm going to go with. That's going to make me sleep at night, because this was quite a bit of work. You know, it's not the worst thing to have to do, but it was a lot of work. I figured it might be satisfying to see the last little bit of this come off, and just to show you that this actually does work in its own way. No more gum, no more sunburnt decals here. So I still have to do both sides, but you know, as you can see, there's it just kind of comes off in pieces. I don't know. There's probably a better way to do that. I don't really like using strippers and things like that. I've seen people use, see, you just end up cutting right into the wood here. I've seen people use like a saw, and then they attach like a straight edge to that. So then they just kind of shove all this off of there. Anyways, highly recommend wearing some gloves so that you don't give yourself 200 splinters by doing this. But yeah, there's the last of it. So we're going to switch over to, I'm going to switch over to these sides. I'm going to do those, and I'm not going to pain you with having to watch me do that. So we'll regroup when that's done. Well, we did it. That wasn't too bad. It looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna end up having to sand it just a little bit. It's got a little bit of adhesive residue that keeps picking up dirt and stuff off the table. That'll come off super easy. And I also ended up kind of gouging into the wood a little bit every time I would, not every time, but when I would use the razor to get started, I was starting to get impatient and frustrated, and so I ended up chipping into the wood a bit, but that will also sand too, or can use some wood filler. Probably end up using wood filler. But anyways, so what we're gonna do next is clean up. Here it is. This stuff is gross and like super brittle. Sunburnt for a long time, so I'm blaming it on that as to why it was so hard to get off. It wasn't me. It was this. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to clean this out, and then I was kind of considering just spray painting the bottom here, but I do have this vinyl, this like roll of vinyl that I've used in the past, and I think it could be kind of cool just to put it down, you know, under here, and then cut it away essentially where it was before, to make it look authentic. So it would be, you know, around here, but then I will cut away where the black wood is from the other part that they nailed onto here. So the enamel or the vinyl would just be on this part, and then I can also do it back here so it matches how it used to be. And then there won't be any spray paint. You know, maybe that's better. So then there's just the 3 stickers. This will say Midway on both sides, and then it'll have the jam session sticker on the front. So anyways, next video we will clean this up, put on this vinyl and put on the stickers, and then the box will be done. So stay tuned.